Oh, it's time to grab your glasses, family. It's time for us to get started. I'm so excited. Sitting up here, Kid Magic Rock. Shots out. Here we go. Drink your water.
How y'all doing? Good morning. Great day, family. This is take 2 because something happened with the writing. I didn't like how the first one came out, so I had to redo this for you, right? This one's going to be short and sweet, so let's get into it. First off, I'm going to say great Ujima to each and every last one of you. We are in the man, and also we are in the week of Ujima, right? So now we need to learn a little bit more about Ujima on a larger scale. That is cooperative economics. So we want to give all the Ujima babies around the world. So today we are looking at Ujima through the lens of Ujima. Okay? So take some time in your life, especially those that are new. Just go and focus on Ujima. That's collective worker responsibility. Look around you and see where Ujima is happening and if it is happening in your life, right? I want each and every last one of you to like, share, subscribe. Make sure you also comment, because the only way we grow is if we grow, which means that you have to start asking questions and I have to start either thinking about answering them or returning and asking you questions so that we can start growing. All right. So I want you to adjust your posture. I want you to relax. I want you to sit back, take a deep breath, deep belly breath, right? Settle in. And, I want to send peace, power, and joy to all the warriors, elders, and nation builders who might be listening. Now, today we stand firmly on Ujima, which I've already said it. For the uninitiated, once again, Ujima means collective work and responsibility, right? Get out, look for it in your life. We talk about via negativa, and via negativa teaches us that division, isolation, and hyper-individualism are all false programs. There are glitches in our cultural operating system designed to keep us heavy and paralyzed. We live in a society that aggressively markets the mythology of the rugged individual or the isolated alpha male, both of which are bullshit, right? America was not built by rugged individualism. Don't believe that shit. Alpha males, and now they got a new one. They call them sigma males. Good God Almighty, they just be coming up with shit, right? But let's look at the narrative we digest. For example, think about this. I got this from, it was a video I saw either on Instagram or TikTok. But the villains that they show us in the movies, when they trying to take over the world, you always notice that they have staff. They have an entire ecosystem of people willing to work together to lift the burden, even for a crazy cause, even for a cause that's going to end the world, right? Then we take a picture of the hero. Let's look at the heroes in these stories. Meanwhile, the hero is a lone superhero with a couple of gadgets to destroy the whole organization. Like, you could look at James Bond. I thought James Bond was so fly when I was young. But he lived a lonely, sad existence. And his background was horrible. When you really start getting into James Bond was it was like, damn, right? But then it ain't just James Bond. You look at a lot of the heroes that especially my generation grew up on. It was individuals by themselves that would go in and take on whole organizations. Remember Rambo? He was going to go over and restart the Vietnam War, right? Beat Vietnam all by itself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was just crazy. And it ain't just back then. It's up now. The point I'm trying to make is, why is it that in these movies, the bad guys are the ones that are practicing Ujima? How come in our lives, the people that are oppressing us, the people that are holding us down are practicing Ujima, and we're trying to do the rugged individual shit and fight on our own? It don't work. We got to stop it. Carrying the weight of the eye is an exhausting and miserable burden. Operating solely from the isolated self leaves us overwhelmed, fragile, and subject to some storms of life. I'm gonna change that. Not some storms, all storms of life. The lesson is clear. The I does not build. It is the we that constructs for eternity. I want y'all to listen. That is a haiku. I snuck it in. We must abandon the program of individual burden and conquer apathy. It is time to either join a tribe or start building one. Today's proverb: milk and honey have different colors, but they share the same house peacefully. Many people pull this proverb up to argue. See, we need to work with everyone. While we absolutely must learn to cooperate globally, we have to understand that these heuristics were designed for specific groups. Our people often try to expand a concept to the entire world before we have practiced and mastered it within our community. Self-mastery must start within first. So what I'm trying to illustrate here for you is just like with our self-mastery process in Gye-nyame, where we have to start within before we could practice any of these principles outside of who we are. We have to practice them within. We have to find unity within. We have to find self-determination within. We have to practice Ujima within. We have to practice Ujima within. Right? How do you do that, Brother Haatim? Those are group principles where there's 5 parts of being, 5 parts of you that have to come together to work together so that you could be a more effective person. Right? Same thing with the people. We have to start working together first before we can actually start working with others. It becomes unhealthy. Let me keep on going. Look closely at the medicine in the proverb. Milk is rich and flowing, the product of maternal sustenance. Right? Honey is a thick and golden substance, the product of collective, tireless bee labor. They are fundamentally different in viscosity, taste, and color, yet when they share the same house, they do not fight, dilute, or destroy each other. Instead, they harmonize to create an ultimate drink of nourishment, healing, and joy. And I know some of y'all saying, Brother Haatim, I can't drink milk because you drinking unfermented milk. But family, I'm going to tell you, hey, milk and honey is good. I don't drink a lot of milk. I ain't going to say I don't drink milk. I don't drink a lot of milk no more. When I was young, man, we stumbled on a beehive. Somehow we ended up getting it in the house. The bees had abandoned it or whatever, and we was able to pull honey from all of the honeycomb for months. Man, when I tell you I fell in love with honey, milk, and Cheerios, this was either before Honey Nut Cheerios or before I can afford it. But I'm old enough to remember before Honey Nut Cheerios. But anyway, milk and honey is a good thing, and it can be healing. I'm just saying we have to get some milk and ferment it. You know what I'm saying? A little bit. You know. True collective work is not about conformity. It's about harmony. We don't all have to look alike, just like, or even like the same flavor ice cream, or the same coffee, or like the same movies, to move in the same direction. Once the critical mass within our community understands how to harmonize our differences, we will see massive changes. Only then can we export the peace to the rest of the world. Now, what is this mass, this critical mass, right? You know, usually it's a very small amount. But when you're talking about millions of people, that small amount can still be a large number to an individual, right? It only takes a critical mass of us coming together and doing the work for us to really start seeing changes, right? we still working towards the critical mass. Because once the critical mass start happening, it start building upon itself. And then things just begin to happen for us. Now, to understand how this look on a larger canvas, we examine a historical mirror on this very day. The disease of separation, 1950. On June 24th, 1950, the apartheid regime passed the Group Areas Act in South Africa, artificially and violently segregating people by race to enforce separation. Now, the counter-narrative in 1995, on the same day in 1995, Nelson Mandela stood on the rugby field at Ellis Park Stadium. He walked out wearing a green and gold Springbok jersey, a garment that had long symbolized the sharp, painful division of apartheid to the black majority. In that moment of immense social friction, Mandela did not seek to wash away the distinct colors of his nation. Rather, he showed that different colors of South Africa, like milk and honey, must peacefully occupy the same shared national house to heal and rebuild. Coexist is our natural strength. Coexistence is our natural strength. Now, let me say this. No, I'm going to leave it alone. We start inward first. We got to start inward first. Right? Now, to lock in today's session, let's tap into the ancestral algorithm. I release the weight of the I and embrace the strength of the we. I release the weight of I and embrace the strength of we. I release the weight of I and embrace the strength of we. The focus of all our Ujima algorithms is overcoming apathy and shedding the illusion of isolated struggle. Our esteemed elder, Dr. Mariba Kelsey, who recently celebrated his 101st birthday, offers solid gold advice for this journey. He constantly reminds us to agree to agree. Now, for me, that is becoming the mantra for Ujima. Agree to agree. Agree to agree. When I'm with my folk, I want to agree to agree. As black folks, we must reject the enemy's programming that tells us we must constantly agree to disagree. Unity does not mean uniformity. Sameness is a trap. I don't know if you heard it, but that's another one of those haikus. It is the space within our difference that allows innovation to be born. All right. Furthermore, a healthy nation must divorce itself from a rigid capitalistic framework where everything is commodified. You cannot find true peace, power, and joy as the foundation of a healthy society. Healthcare, housing, and education, etc. are stripped away, leaving people sick, ignorant, and unhoused. Now, the reason I brought that up is because one of the things that I have noticed is that one of the strengths of America, of this American project, is the many differences that are here. Now, if you were to go and listen to the my notes for the Telegram, right? In Telegram, because I pre-record this, then I rewrite it, right? So some stuff got to come out, but I want to make sure I share this. The reason I talk about the national health is because America, I believe, is trying to go back and create some type of homogeneous state where only one group is able to benefit. They want, actually, I honestly believe they think they're Spartans. They want a Spartan-like organization. For those that don't understand, Sparta had, I think it's called the Lambda as their symbol. And it's basically an upside down V. Now, their society duplicated the upside down V. You had the Spartans, which was a very small group at the top. And at the bottom, I think you had what they call Heliots, right? So at the top of this almost pyramid-like structure, you got a small group of people that runs and lives off the labor of the majority. The top group are the Spartans, and they get to oppress, They police. They get to live off the labor of these individuals. In fact, they could legally kill the Heliots. And in fact, part of their initiation was killing the Heliots. So when you start really looking at some of the stuff that these dudes want to do, right, that they're talking about in America, they want to go to this homogeneous type state where they have a top group that is able to oppress at will the lower groups, which means black. You know what I'm saying? I hear black, so please understand that. So what America want to do, they want to go to this homogeneous group, and they're looking at models like Switzerland and these other countries that are homogeneous, right? And they think because they're homogeneous, this is what makes them great. No. They are investing in their people, right? The housing, the health care, the education. They make teaching a want-to-do profession. Everybody can't just become a teacher because they have a degree. They make teaching a well-paid position. They take care of their people with housing and health care, right? Not because they all the same. Not because large majority is Swiss that they're good and they're doing better. No, they're invested in those things. And the key piece I was trying to get across was that America could be doing the same thing. It's crazy, family. It's crazy. They want excellent results doing medium ranked shit, doing the same old shit. It don't work. And when you throw capitalism on top of this, right, when you commodify everything, it destroys any way that we could do anything. And the key point that I was trying to make is the difference in America that provided the innovations that the rest of the world benefit from. It's the clashing of the cultures over here, the spaces and the differences, and in some sense, the allowance of these differences, right? That sparks innovation. I'm just saying. I'm gonna stop right there. But anyway, you go and you get more of this over at the Telegram group. Ujima is not abstract talk. It is practical execution right now as a distinct sovereign individual. Release the heavy, exhausting illusion of doing it all alone. Release the tension in your jaw and neck. Let go of the weight of having to figure everything out by yourself. Reconnect to a tribe. Tap into the collective mind-body posture of serenity and mutual support. Stand tall as a nation builder or a warrior or a watoto or an elder, knowing that when we build together, our foundation is unbreakable. Family, please like, share, subscribe. Most importantly, comment. Also, down in the description, you got my contact information. You can hit me up, or you go and you can join the Telegram group. You know what I'm saying? If you're calling me, text me first to let me know who you are and what you want. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not just picking up any random calls. I don't do that no more, right? Because everybody be needing something. And ain't nothing wrong with need, right? But I just want to be clear on what we talking about, right? But also, I want to thank the community, especially Tawi Family Village. We got Gye-nyame Ministries. We have Rescue, Release, Restore. Have all come together to help raise funds for these young people so that we could go to Simba Camp. Simba Camp is fastly approaching, and I'm gonna give a result of. I'm just letting a few more donations come in, but we are almost halfway to what we need in order to be able to do the camp. Now I miscounted because I thought we had 25. that I was raising money for. It's 17 young people that I'm raising, that Gye-nyame is right now raising money for. So we almost a half. So if you take 17, multiply it by 400, we almost a half of that. And I want to give you a round of applause. I want to give us a round of applause as we showing what community can do. I would love to be able to get the best, but if not, I am very grateful for what we have done. But there's some more people out there. Some people told me they ain't showed up and showed out yet. And I know a lot of my friends, especially those around my age, always do shit the last minute. So we'll see how it's going to go down. But anyway, family, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for tuning in. And you know what this means. You are now listening to Gye-nyame Journey Radio. This is a Heart of a Symbol production. Where we strive to blow up your old paradigms.